I was the fifth of 6 siblings. Immediately after I was born, we shifted from Lahore to Ambala. And that's where I began my first school. And I remember that at that very tender age, I didn't want anyone to accompany me to school. I wanted to walk it alone. And I used to look back over my shoulder whether somebody was following me. I shifted many schools because my father was in a transferable job. I generally was an all-rounder in school. I played all sport. To keep up that reputation, I used to cover at night with a quilt and have a table lamp inside and read, so as to keep up the reputation that despite playing the whole day, I was still coming out with flying colors in school. But I had 2 cousins in IIT Kharagpur who I hero worshipped. Ultimately, my father wasn't very happy. He did not know what an IIT was. So I appeared and I passed and joined IIT Delhi. It was only after I qualified as mechanical engineer that the real challenge began. During my final year, I had written an application for Imperial Tobacco because it was on the notice board that you could apply for jobs. And after I left college, one day, a friend of mine who had got left behind because he could not qualify the same time as I did, he found a letter in my name in the pigeonhole and he brought it home. So I went there and I found my scooter broke down on the way. So when I got there, we had a placement officer called Commodore R.H.D. Singh. He told me that the interview was over and I started arguing with him. I told him, look, please, give me a chance because my scooter broke down. He did not relent, but Keki Randeria, who was the personnel manager from ITC, Imperial Tobacco those days, he heard my, imploring him in this manner. He said, no, I will interview this young man. So he took me in. The first question he asked me is, why are these windows shaking? And I was so keyed up. I thought he was asking me a question of theory of vibrations. So I took a sheet of paper and I started explaining to him how vibrations are caused. And he looked at me a little bit surprised and said, no, I don't understand what you're saying, but I want to know why is it shaking. So then I told him that there is a compressor in the basement and, that is not completely balanced and that is what is causing it. I think he took a liking to me and I found that I was the only one that was picked up for the next interview. And that was the first time I traveled by air, went to Chennai, in a place called Tirupattur, for my next interview. And after the interview was over, I left. And it so happened that these people went to the branch manager and said that we found this guy, found him okay. So he said, he rang up the deputy chairman in headquarters in Kolkata and said, we found our man, and he told him, put him on the next flight. So the 4 heads of department were sent, one to the airport, one to the railway station, and one to a place in a colony where I told them during the interview that I was staying. And the other gentleman was, I think, sent somewhere else. And ultimately they had to ring up my father and they found out, got me. Next morning they put me on the flight to Kolkata.